Field on July 3rd, 1863. Also, both sides also were supported by artillery. Looks like Jenkins' men are going to get this thing started.
We see smoke coming
I
up.
always kind of like the cavalry. I'll tell you one of the reasons I like the cavalry guys. They use a variety of weapons. Okay, so you see these guys down here. They've got carbines, shorter rifles. And you notice that they're crouched down. They're crouched down behind a stone wall. And this is historic. There was a stone wall in the field. These guys are taking shelter behind. And the advantage of firing a carbine, a shorter rifle that a horse soldier can more easily fire from horseback, is that you can crouch down behind some type of dismantled fence rails or stone wall like these guys are in front of, and you can reload the rifle while you're crouched down taking protection. You can't do that as a typical infantry soldier standing up. 3-foot rifle, 9-step procedure, load. And this is exactly how the fight started out there. Dismounted cavalry begins the fight. Of course, in addition to carbines, these guys also have sabers, curved swords, if you will. They also use pistols, so they use a variety of different weapons.
Jimmy, I remind you that there's no saving seats, no coolers, no feet on the bench in front of you. Help those people that are coming in a little later. I'm sorry, they may have been delayed in traffic or something, but help them find a seat. Hold your hand up, how many fingers you have, how many seats are available. And I guess we're going to have to, this is just a prelude of what's to come. You're going to have to be able to scooch together, okay, so that we have enough room for everybody. Now, most of these Confederate cavalrymen have supplied their own horses. And remember, the South is pretty agrarian at this time of the war. You know, most of these guys come from farms, plantations. They've been raised on horses, pretty much grown up with them their whole lives. They're natural in the South. And if they lost a horse, they would generally either become dismounted cavalry or they'd have to go home and get a new horse. The federal government supplied the Union their horses. And because a lot of the Union guys were, you know, from cities primarily, for the most part, they weren't real accustomed to being on horseback at the beginning of the war. But you got to remember, here at Gettysburg, we're a little over 2 years into the war. So by this time, the federal cavalry, by the time you get to the Battle of Brandy Station on June 9th, about a month before this, the Union cavalry had proven itself now to be the match of the Confederates, because up to this time in the war, the Confederates were considered superior to the Union soldiers. And I'm guessing some of those guys in gray still feel that way today. You know, when you think about the weather conditions, guys, my gosh, it's very, very similar. It was about 88 degrees and partly sunny, very similar to what we're seeing right now. Michael Jacobs was a college professor at what we call Gettysburg College today. It was called Pennsylvania College. He lived in Gettysburg, kept temperature recordings, and so we know it was about 88 degrees and partly sunny that day. Also, if you're in the grandstand or in the general admission and you have seats, could you be kind enough to sit down so the people behind you can see as well? Could you sit down if you're in a seat so that the people behind you can see as well?